So it's not just about putting somebody on a medication that's going to cause them to lose weight. You know, the most important part of what I do when I'm taking somebody through a weight loss plan is, first of all, we want to find out what's causing them to not be able to lose weight. You know, of course, I could just write for semaglutide, you know, or tirzepatide, you know, but that might not be what they need. You know, they may not have a problem with their appetite per se. Maybe they have an issue with, maybe they're in too much of a caloric restriction, right? Because sometimes you can be in too much of a caloric restriction or a caloric deficit, and your body just kind of holds on to everything. You know, another thing is it could be hormones. A lot of times people come in and they tell me, you know, my gosh, I sleep terribly, but I'm always exhausted. You know, I don't know. I think it may be my hormones. And, you know, instead of the big ones like testosterone or estrogen, sometimes it's their thyroid. You know, I mean, you can't just generalize every person that wants to lose weight, just put them on something. You know, you have to take them through, you know, a whole bunch of questions just to get to the root of the problem. And so, and then it's not just that, because it's my goal to get somebody on and off medication as fast as possible. You know, nobody needs to live on weight loss medication, right? I think that it's important that we develop, while we're on medication, while we're on treatment, develop tips and strategies that you can take with you for the rest of your life that's going to allow you to get off the medication and then just keep on going, right? The goal should never be, I want to get shredded in 90 days, you know, or I want to lose weight in 90 days. The goal should be, I want to be healthy for as long as I possibly can. I want to lose the weight. I want to reverse or lower my A1C. You know, I have type 2 diabetes. I don't want to have to be taking insulin, you know, and if I can lose weight, maybe I can cut back on some of my diabetic medication, maybe, you know, I mean, so the goal should be lifelong health, you know, and so making that switch. So a lot of the times, I also will take somebody and I'll develop a weight loss strategy, which means that, you know, we'll discover what their true macros are. I like to, for my local patients, to come in and get a body composition scan so that I can really get an idea of what their skeletal muscle mass is and their fat mass, their total body of the water content that they're holding on to, everything, you know, along with labs, so that I can know specifically what we're working with. And so then we'll take that information and we'll develop a plan of attack where we know exactly what their BMR is. We know exactly how many calories they have to their maintenance calories. That way we know exactly how many calories to stay under so that we can start seeing some weight loss. Because you can do all the right things, but if you're not in a caloric deficit, you're never going to lose weight. You've got to be in a caloric deficit first. And then we start working on macros. We develop a plan that includes what their macros are, what their protein, what they need to be in their protein, what their protein content needs to look like, what their carb content what it needs to look like, and then what their fat content needs to look like. And so I use, you know, a tool, the TDEE calculator from tdeecalculator.net, to help create those numbers. If we don't have a body composition scan, if we do have a body composition scan, then we're working with more refined numbers. And then from there, we can really target the problem and really get that weight off, and also find a medication, if the medication is the goal, or in the plan, a medication that is going to work specifically for that individual. And my gosh, we have so many tools in the toolbox to work with, you know, whether that be GLP-1s, whether that be growth hormone peptides like tesamorelin, you know, or ipamorelin, or maybe something as simple as just increasing their BMR, at the same time providing satiety, which is something like phentermine, which, you know, it's an FDA-approved weight loss drug, it's a stimulant, but it's like an old faithful. It does work. Or something like Qsymia, which is kind of like a low-dose phentermine with a low-dose topiramate, something like that. There's just so many things that we can do, and it's just not a one and done, you know. So I hope that answers that question.